The Biden administration is being called out for human trafficking over the border crisis. And if you remember, I did the special feature episode, Border Deception, where I dug into the Biden administration's programs, mainly being run through the State Department, that are facilitating what we call the border crisis. This is not organic. This is a man-made, intentional border crisis where people are being financed. There's a whole program being run through the United Nations, the International Organization for Migration, facilitating the whole thing. They're doing it. And what's interesting now is the debate is shifting. And the debate's shifting in a way where the Biden administration and officials are being accused basically of manipulating loopholes within the system, and through those loopholes facilitating what does constitute human trafficking. Let me show you a story on this. This is Townhall. It says Mayorkas, DHS, Secretary of DHS, Department of Homeland Security, smuggled 100,000 migrants into the U.S. through a hidden parole pathway. Typically, I think immigration is not an issue. In my opinion, typically people come into a country, they tend to bring value. That kind of immigration is what made America great. When you read the Statue of Liberty's plaque and, bring me your poor and you're tired and you're downtrodden, they didn't come here and get on welfare. They didn't come here and live off the system. They came here and they built their own, they lived the American dream. They built they built businesses. They took care of their families. They did something, right? It was the American dream. This idea that you will be given freedom. You will be responsible for your success, and you will be responsible for your failure. And if you can build something, you are living the American dream. And nobody's going to stop you, but nobody's going to help you either. That is how the American system worked. The nature of America is based on this independence and freedom. And the American idea is founded around that idea. The problem you have with modern immigration, though, is the welfare system and, frankly, loopholes within the legal system where you have these sanctuary cities that don't even prosecute people. The problem we have now is that you have what are economic migrants. They're not coming here because they want to create something. They're not coming here because they want to build something. They're coming here because they want the government to take care of them. They're coming here because they want free hotel rooms in New York City. It's a totally different form of immigration. That type of immigration is absolutely harmful to a society. That type of immigration is a dead weight on really the hardworking people, the people who do try to build their dreams and do things that are great. Modern, welfare immigration, I think, is utterly destructive to a civilization, and especially when the education system does not relay to them what the country stands for. What you then have instead is people who are taught to hate the host country. They're taught to hate the history of the nation they're being raised in. And that is something deeply, deeply destructive to a society. And I'll show you how that's happening because they're starting to recognize it, right? If you watch my Border Deception documentary, which if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you watch, you'll know that NGOs financed through the United Nations IOM, International Organization for Migration, or operated through them, the money comes from the State Department, is actually what is busing these people all across the United States on a regular basis. And not just buses, but even flying them around. They're doing this at a large scale already, an operation being coordinated through the State Department, working hand in hand with the United Nations.